This is Jordan Tower with JT News. Make sure you smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. Let's get right into the news. Well, 50 Cent does an interview with the Breakfast Club. I got to watch pretty much the whole thing. Now, he comments on Tierra, and he gets more in detail about that, where he says, she owes me 55 grand right now. And her lawyer tried to get me into this loop with the Me Too movement when I didn't do anything wrong. So I said I had to make an example. And I said, they're saying me too. I say, not me. Don't go after me, because you do got to kind of set an example. They were using me as a target to try to get money out of him when it was really her ex-boyfriend that had leaked a video on her. And 50 Cent commented on it, but because 50 Cent had the money, they came after him, and he won in court. And it started off where he needed 25 grand in his legal fees for defense, and now it's up to like 55, 60,000. He said, I'm going to make her feel like she went to college when I'm done with her. Then we got him talking about Diddy and YK Osiris. We remember YK Osiris was up there recently, and there's this rumor going around that YK Osiris was Diddy's boy toy, and Charlamagne made the joke, 50's going to say, Diddy play with your behind? And then that's exactly what 50 said before Charlamagne even said anything. But, YK Osiris might be in an upcoming 50 Cent television show that he does come out. Then he commented on some stuff with Supreme. He talked about how he didn't, because the Supreme Team documentary came out, and he was mentioned in there with the Ghetto Quran record, where it talked a lot about people who had done things in Queens back in the day, with Supreme Team and everything, but they had all been charged and convicted of everything. So he says, I wasn't in anybody's paperwork. I wasn't charged with anything. How could I be telling on anybody? But I felt like 50 had said, it looked like around that time after I was let go of Sony, it looked like I was going back to the neighborhood, and I had to start talking about things, more direct and versus being indirect on records like a lot of artists were. And, that's where that whole problem came about. And then also, Supreme had always told him not to go at Irv and Ja Rule because he was making money off of them. So he said it was really dumb because I'm from where Preem's from. He should have been with me, but he was with them. He could have had both, but instead he chose them. And that started a big rift between them because 50 kept going at Irv and Ja. And he also commented on Irv Gotti saying that he beat the feds, when he said, you didn't beat the feds. They just depleted your funds and made you spend $2 million and put you $2 million in debt. So you didn't have any money to give to Preem to defend himself. So he ended up with a public defender and went to jail for the rest of his life. And the feds' whole target was to get Preem, not to get Murder Inc. So he said, Irv Gotti sounds like Irv Gotti wasn't even doing anything to be affiliated with Supreme Team. He was running a record label. So he went at him for that. So he did comment on the whole Irv thing eventually. Then what else did he talk about? He talked about James Cruz. James Cruz has been going around talking a lot about 50 Cent and why 50 Cent doesn't like him. 50 Cent made it very clear why he doesn't like James Cruz, because he was messing with Jimmy Henchman, who had a problem with Chris Lighty. Now, Chris Lighty was 50 Cent's best friend and manager, and James Cruz worked for Chris Lighty. But James Cruz was going up the street with Jimmy Henchman out of fear to hang out with him when Jimmy Henchman had a huge problem and was very jealous of Chris Lighty. And 50 Cent looked at that as a sucker move, so he never liked James Cruz at all and doesn't like him trying to take credit for his own business moves. James Cruz is always trying to take credit for, he was around, but 50 Cent's like, he's just not a good person. He's not loyal. Chris Lighty was the one that kept James Cruz going, and James Cruz is just like, he's one of those people that'll be in the music industry and survive by any means, and I could never get along with people like that. Then we got The Game. We already talked about that. He talked about writing The Game's first 6 records, and he said, I don't regret writing and giving him those 6 records that were for my second album, even though they pushed my second album back because his album that I helped him put together was doing so well. he understood that Dre really just wanted a West Coast artist that was like 50 Cent, that was selling like that, but for the West Coast. And at any point in many people's career, you're going to help people that don't reciprocate the help you gave to them. I've done this with, you guys know, like 2 Chainz, Yo Gotti, a lot of people. I really helped some people get to the next level. And, sometimes you just do it. It's part of the game. And you realize this isn't, it's not, there's no friends in this. It's business, and if you don't treat it as business, you'll have those missteps, and, like 50 Cent probably wishes that he probably put in contract that his album's still coming out on this date and everything, and, nothing can be altered if he helps them with this thing. But you don't think about that stuff when you're doing these things. You think that people will reciprocate and appreciate the help and recognize that you got them to this next level, and they don't. It's just, but that's a necessary lesson in life. Anyways, so 50 Cent, make sure you go check out his interview on The Breakfast Club. It's pretty funny. He also talks about sales and how a lot of artists like Kanye and other artists like disguise their sales by putting them on devices or linking them in with merch sales or this, or having them come with concert tickets and everything. So, because nobody wants to have real sales attached to their numbers, because it shows that you're not really that hot. Like NBA YoungBoy, as many fans as he has, and as many, and I can appreciate that. He has a lot of fans. He has a core fan base. They'll support him no matter what. His sales numbers are inflated by YouTube numbers. The people that listen to him watch him on YouTube heavy, stream him heavy on Spotify. Like, he has a great fan base, but that inflates the numbers where it looks like he's doing just as good as Lil Wayne his whole career, when we all know Lil Wayne's impact was way crazier, It's just that YouTube and everything didn't exist for a lot of, like, YouTube didn't take off until 2012, to be honest with you. Like, I had a YouTube channel from 2006 to till now, the same channel, but YouTube, going viral on YouTube was 100,000 views in 2006, People didn't embrace YouTube. YouTube couldn't even do HD and everything until 2011, 12. If you do, you couldn't even make money on YouTube 2014, 13 or 14. Before that, you had to be part of a YouTube partnership program. Not even their partnership program, an actual external program that wasn't even attached to YouTube. It was program partners. So everything's come a long way. It's different now. And now YouTube is TV. It took over. You could see where it was going to take over. It just took time. Before it was websites up until 2012. Anyways, this is Jordan Tower with JT News. Make sure you subscribe and hit that like button. I'll check you guys in the next one. Peace.